Charlton Manor radio show, and today we're joined by none other than the founder of the Dave Berry Radio Room, Dave Berry himself.
Thank you everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Yahoo! Celebrity alert! Finally! After all this time, we finally have another celebrity alert.
Well, thank you, Archie. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you very much indeed for classing me as a celebrity. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Okay, on to some questions.
Yes.
How do you prepare yourself for your radio show every day?
I get in half an hour, 30 minutes before we go live, where my producer, this is your producer over there, right? Is that true? Yep. Where he or she, or he and she in my case, have prepared some of the things that we might talk about on the radio. I take a look through them, help to pick out along with George and Lila which ones we like the best, which ones we don't like so much, and then we go live at 6 a.m. and we just cross our fingers and hope for the best.
Yeah. Okay, so how does the producer help you put the show together?
Well, the producer has the hardest job in radio, because whilst presenters, who here wants to be a presenter? Okay. Radio DJ, okay. And who wants to be a producer? Okay, well, see, Jessica, you have to get in a lot earlier than the presenters, and you leave a lot later, so they do all the hard work. We just turn up and kind of effectively do this, but in audio form. So they help a great deal, and we're always in contact with each other throughout the day. We have a WhatsApp group, and if we see something or we hear something that we think is going to be funny or entertaining for the show, then we're always kind of sending each other ideas. So we have a constant cycle of things that we could potentially talk about, and some things we kind of say for a rainy day. So it'll be something that isn't really time specific, so we don't have to kind of do it on Tuesday morning. We know that it's a kind of nice story that people will enjoy, but it will sit at any time in the week, so we can kind of put that one back until Thursday, and the producer will make sure that they have that all in the right order for us.
Okay, good.
So when you're preparing, how long does it normally take, like longest and shortest time?
Well, we have the 30 minutes before the show, but part of the fun of it is kind of making it up as you go along, and anything can happen, you know, because obviously we're on Twitter, we're on Snapchat. People in America, obviously, it's their evening when it's our morning. So if Taylor Swift and Drake are spotted partying together in LA, what is 2 o'clock in the morning for them is happening for us during the middle of the show. So it means we can bring that piece of gossip. We can tell people that they're going to be working together on some music or whatever. So it's kind of always changing. And sometimes we'll drop things because it's not as good as what's happened. And sometimes we'll just move things. I use my hands a lot when I talk, don't I? You didn't know that, because you can't see me when I'm doing the thing. I'm going to just sit on my hands like this. And so sometimes we move things back and and bump them, off the show, possibly sometimes, maybe use them another day. So prep time could be anything between 30 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever get nervous before going on air, or have you done it for so long that it's just natural to you?
Well, I don't get nervous doing Capital Breakfast, but I do get nervous coming on as a guest on a radio show that's been named after me here at Charlton Manor. So I felt a bit nervous about meeting you guys, but you've been so good, so professional. Thank you. You've made me feel really at home. So no, I'm good. I feel good. I like it. As you can tell, I like to talk a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. So if there's one of these, it's perfect for me. Like you, Archie.
Yeah, I'm crazy sometimes.
Yeah, exactly right. They're the best people.
Yeah. Is there anything about your job you don't like, or do you love everything about it?
The only downside to my job is I have to meet people like One Direction, and I hate that. Yeah, because they're always like, Ollie Murs is always knocking at the door going, "Can I come in and have a chat?" No, I'm kidding. I do wake up at Have you ever heard of 4:30 in the morning? Yeah, okay, you might not have seen it, and there's no reason why you should. You're young and you've got your whole lives ahead of you. But there comes a time in every person's life, maybe your parents or your guardians, you have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. And that's so bad. That's really, really bad. That's like Santa arriving kind of time. That's like really early in the morning. So that's the only downside.
I once woke up at 3:30.
Wow.
In the morning.
Wow. What you want to is be coming in at that time, not getting up at that time. That's the trick.
Have you ever had a job that you really didn't like, that's not the job that you have right now?
Have I ever had a job that I haven't really liked? I once had a stall, a market stall, selling jigsaw puzzles. Have you heard of Pokemon?
Yes.
Yeah. So Pokemon, before Pokemon was like cool and you were catching them all and playing it, they had just a jigsaw puzzle, which is something maybe your grandparents do. So they took the concept of Pokemon and put it into a jigsaw puzzle. And my job when I was a young guy was to sell as many Pokemon jigsaw puzzles as I could. And it was like December and it was really cold, and that wasn't my favourite job.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realise you could make Pokemon so uncool, but the people I worked for at the time, they achieved it. So, yeah, well done.
Rumour has it that you wear a three-piece suit to work every day. Is that true?
It's not. It used to be true. It used to be true. The idea was that because, you get up early and you go and work early, that you can just kind of slouch around in your pyjamas or in a onesie. And I didn't think that was right, So I decided that I would try and change the perception of the early morning radio DJ by wearing a three-piece suit. But now I wear jeans and a shirt occasionally. I chuck it. This is casual for me.
Why did you wear such smart clothes? Is it because of your background in fashion?
I do have I used to work in a couple of really nice clothes shops, and I do like clothes. You look very smart, by the way. Charlton Manor have a very good uniform. This is nice. Your collars are slightly turned up at the end, but I'll let you off. Don't worry about that. So yes, that was an element of it. But as I say, my kind of, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't one of those guys who finishes work, steps out into the big brave world, still wearing his pajamas, his Pokemon pajamas.
Nice one bringing out the Pokemon again.
Thanks, Archie. I'm glad you enjoy. I'm glad you're learning.
Okay, so how did you get into DJing?
How do I get into DJing? I got. Have you lost your notes?
Yeah, I don't mind them.
You don't. Oh, you've just learned it. Of course, Jessica. You've just learned it all off by heart. Absolutely, that's good. Very good. I got into it because I was working as a television presenter, and I was working on a station called MTV, which does music. And then, because I was presenting these music shows, they asked me if I wanted to do a radio show for a station called Radio X, which I did. It was called XFM at the time. But I went there and did that, and then kind of fell in love with radio, because, radio is great. It's brilliant to have the facilities you have here and be doing this. You're going to have, and then TV's also cool. Hi everyone, how you doing? Hi. So yeah, that's how I got into it, and I feel very blessed to do what I do. So it's great.
Yeah.
How is being a presenter on the TV different from being a presenter on the radio?
Well, Jessica, let me answer that by saying, firstly, I know you just lost your notes mid-live interview, and the fact that you used your co-host notes is brilliant, and in fact, you're already better than George and Lila, so that's fantastic. No, I'm kidding.
They don't hear that.
No, they're not going to hear that. I'm only messing. They're brilliant. So, firstly, well done, and secondly, what was the question again? Because I was so impressed that you're using the notes. I didn't take in what. So you've been a brilliant host. I've been an awful guest. That's where we're at the moment.
So how is being a presenter on the TV different from being a presenter on the radio?
I think that a lot of the people I know who do both television and radio, I think we all have the same opinion on this, which is the way in which you can instantly connect to people on the radio, the way in which you can have somebody come on the phone and tell you their story. Are you yawning, Archie? What are you doing, man? We're like live on the. Well, this is your show. Can you imagine if I did that? If I went, ladies and gentlemen, it's One Direction. Went, what on earth is going on here?
Sorry, I didn't sleep.
Jessica's nailing these questions without even her notes, and is it because you got up at 3:30 in the morning?
Actually, I had to stay out all night. I went to sleep at around 6 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
In the morning. And
Okay.
I only had like 3 seconds to
Give me
sleep
5.
before
I hear you, brother. I hear
Before
you.
my sister woke me up again. I
Oh,
only had like
sisters.
3 seconds.
Oh, so you had 3 seconds. Okay, I'll let you off. But watch that. So yes, it's the way in which you can you can instantly interact with your audience on radio, and also there's no rehearsal or anything. You go in and you just do it. Whereas TV, if your show goes live at say 6 p.m, you normally have to get there at kind of 4. And you have an hour of rehearsal, and you sit down and go through everything. Whereas on the radio, you can just put the mics up and you're on, and that's quite nice.
So when you're doing your different jobs, do you have to approach them in different ways, or do you do it the same?
Not even using your friend's script anymore now, are you? Just totally, it's brilliant. Are you human or are you robot or shit? Have we looked into that? Have we looked? Say that again, please.
Sorry, you make me laugh.
No, I know. I'm deliberately trying to make you laugh. I apologise. What was the question, Jessica?
Do you have to approach your jobs in a different way, or do you do them the same?
The TV and the radio.
Yeah.
I think you have to approach many things in life have to be approached in a similar way, and that's you have to be prepared. And whatever it is you're doing, just be on time and be prepared. Someone much cleverer and more famous than I'll ever be once said that 70% of success was turning up. So just make sure you turn up and be ready. Exactly. That is it. If you just turn up for school, turn up for your exams, prepare for those things, the rest of it's going to come quite easily for you, I promise you that. And the same applies to radio and TV.
Okay, thank you.
What's been the best moment of your career?
This, hands down. I mean, honestly, I'm not even kidding. I've got my own radio room here, the Dave Berry radio room, and I'm being interviewed in the Dave Berry radio room by some really smart young people. I know that the industry I love very much is in safe hands. So this has definitely been it. Or or the time that we got One Direction to stand as waxworks in Madame Tussauds like this. And then I brought people in and said, oh, this is a new exhibition. Would you like to go over and see if they're any good? And we had like Harry like that. And then this girl went over and she kind of went, wow, it's so realistic. He went, ugh! And that was really good fun. We did that all afternoon. I didn't want to leave in the end. And I got you, didn't I?
Whoa. Hey, I do the comedy around
Yeah,
here.
you do. Okay, fair enough. I'm just a straight man. Don't worry about that.
Now to school. You went to school in this area. When you were at school, what subjects did you enjoy and why?
I enjoyed English. I enjoyed history. I enjoyed drama. I enjoyed music. I enjoyed all the ones that didn't involve me having to add anything up.
Except maths.
Yeah. Maths wasn't really my strong point. I had a really good maths teacher though, but I kind of enjoyed the more artistic subjects. And I thought history was fascinating. When I went to do my GCSEs, history was one of my favourite ones. And I really enjoy reading, and I enjoy writing as well, which is something I still do. And they were my favourite ones. Science, not so good at science. Blew a lot of stuff up in science, including my friend's bag. By accident, by the way.
What's your least favourite subject? Out of maths and science. Blowing
there
stuff
you
up,
go.
or
See,
like,
now you're improvising on top because of what you've already established. This is very, very good. You're the comedy and the brains. I like that. I think maths just maths only because I was no good at it. It's a necessary thing to have. It's
but
good, but you like maths. Is that why you're nodding your head?
lesson, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Okay. Well, that's good because the
I'd say
world's
my
need
favourite.
people who are good at maths. Just unfortunately, I'm not one of them.
Well, you're something
Yeah.
else, so.
I'd say
Exactly right.
my favourite thing to do. My favourite subject is probably science because I get to blow stuff up.
Yeah, I remember someone who just said that recently.
Because
Don't know who.
I love it when it goes boom like dynamite.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if they're giving you dynamite in science, you make sure you call an adult. Okay.
But Archie, we only do magnets. I get people's finger trapped. Like a Chinese finger trap.
Yeah.
Ka-ching!
Yeah. No, that's, except for when you push them together, they won't go together over the person's finger, will they? Because of the poles.
Except for the belt. Yeah, but I can actually stick the repelled magnets together. So basically, they're like.
How old are you?
9.
I've just been
10,
beaten in the
sorry,
science
I mean
argument by
10.
9-year-old. I rest my case.
I meant 10, sorry. I meant 10, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I rest my case. You win with the magnet chat. I'll give you that.
Did you have a teacher who will you ever remember?
Yeah, I have loads of teachers I remember. Mr. Hire was a very important teacher for me because he taught me history, and he was one of those teachers who kind of not only kind of made me feel very interested in history, but also told me to kind of just be quiet, and I needed that. Everyone needs that. Some people need that. And also my form tutor, Mrs. Melly, which rhymes with smelly, so you can imagine how successful it was for her at school. But she's like been on my radio show before. She like calls in, like she tells me off. She goes like, David, what was that you just said on the radio? I'm like, and I go, I'm a grown up, I'm an adult. I go, sorry, miss, didn't mean to do it, miss.
Wait, what?
My teacher calls into my radio show and tells me off in front of all my listeners. Don't worry, these two will be doing that to you years to come. You never get away. You never get away from them.
Archie has a little tear.
It's because of all the comedy.
We found out that you're a supporter of the Manor Hospice,
Yes.
a children's charity. What made you get involved with them?
Because, quite frankly, there's some people who are unfortunately, doing less well than others, and I think they're the ones who need help and support. And I was able to give a little bit of a voice to them. They're quite a small charity, so I've been involved with them for about 10 years, and they do great work there. And it's local to here. There's one in Kent, and there's one just up the road in Eltham. So that's why. That's why, and they do great work there, and it's a really, it's a really happy environment that they've managed to create for the kids. So I'm really pleased to be involved.
So when you got involved with the charity, why that particular charity, not a different one?
Well, I'm involved with a couple of charities, but it's important never to talk about your charity work. But no, Demelza is one of them, and I'm involved with the Charlton Athletic Community Trust, who kind of help people in this area, because South London is a very important part of my growing up and who I am. So I help those guys as well. I'm also involved in a couple of other charities. So I think it's important not to be involved with too many charities, because you can spread yourself too thin. But I think it's also important to pick ones that mean something to you because of experiences you've had in life, or maybe that your friends have had, and try your best to help them out. So I'm kind of involved in 3 or 4. But Demelza, because it does really great work in very difficult times for some people, and it's local to where I grew up.
Okay, so we got you, honey, but you and George and Lila.
Thank you.
You got the big one.
Thank you very much indeed. You know how it is. That's very lovely of you. Thank you.
Yeah, Lila and George.
Lila and George. Okay, thank you. I like that. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
We were wondering if on the next radio, would you be able to give a shout out to Charlton Manor Primary School?
Probably, yeah. I'll probably do that. It's up to the producer, but yeah, I might be able to twist his arm. Yeah, no problem. Good, well done. I like that. Just drop. Here's the honey. You sweeten me up, and then you ask for the shout out. It's good tactics. Have a gift. Now can I have a shout out?
We've enjoyed this, but we were wondering, would it be possible to come, if we could come and visit you on the Capital FM breakfast show to see how you make the show?
We might be able to do something about that. Yes, let me talk to the people in charge, and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, it would be lovely to have you in. So let me see what we can do, and I will get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for coming.
A pleasure.
For the interview.
It's been lovely being on the show, and keep up the good work. You did a fantastic job in the interview. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Bravo.